Alright, my lovers, welcome. This is Wazmatic, and I am coming to you today with... I'm going to do a series of short guides for the beginners or people who are thinking about buying Witcher 3, just to introduce the combat skills, starting with combat abilities in terms of the basic attacks, the core skills. Then I'm going to move into talking about, in another video, the signs and how you can use the signs in combat. Then I'm going to look at alchemy a little bit, and then I'm going to finish with a guide to build, so looking at how you can bring all of those together. They're going to be short videos hopefully, so I'm going to get on quickly and whiz through these. So your core skills in Witcher, you will see on the left hand side where it says character here, these in red are your core abilities, so your sword attacks, your blocks, and your crossbow abilities. So you'll see on the left there where we're highlighted, you've got your fast attack. Now your fast attack, I'll give you an example of that. Fast attack is attacks that you can string together that when you attack, they take account of the armor that the enemy that you're attacking has armor. Fast attacks are that armor will mitigate these attacks, but you can string the attacks together quite quickly, and to be honest, it's the attack I tend to use the most. So you can attack in quick succession, lots of short parries, short swings, sorry, with the sword, like that. Okay, so that's your basic fast attack. Now if we go on to look at your heavy attack, and we look at the description for that, you'll see strong attack or heavy attack. It allows you to perform strong melee attacks which ignore enemy armor. Very, very useful. However, in combat, this is slightly more difficult to string together, especially if you're fighting something like a Necker or something that has a very fast attack speed, because you will dodge and then attack, and more often than not, they will probably get in a couple of attacks before you can swing your sword. But the heavy attacks, as you'll notice, a lot slower. If I string some attacks together now, you'll see a lot slower compared to this now, which I'll show you again, is the fast attacks. So the fast attacks are mitigated by armor, the strong attacks are slower, probably more difficult to land, but they ignore enemy armor. So the next element we're going to move on to, and you only pick this up further down the storyline in the game, is your blocks. No, sorry, I'm lying, I'm thinking about crossbows. So your blocking ability, there are two elements to the blocking ability. One is a straightforward block, where you block an attack, and the other is a counter attack, where you use a block, you time it rightly, so when the enemy attacks, you very quickly dab your attack button or trigger, whatever you're using, and that will then perform a counter attack as well. So I have found myself in a position where I have some drowners, particularly annoying to fight against. But let's look at, let's see if I can get the attention of one. Oh, what a terrible shot. There you go. There you go. So he's coming at me, so I'll just give you an idea of the block. So that's me blocking. Okay, I'm getting stuck. So if I now perform a counter attack, come back, come back. If I now do a counter attack, you'll see a block quickly. Oh no, not quite. That's a counter attack. You have to time it. Oh, you have to time it like that. So you block, you dab your block just as the enemy's coming into attack. So you have a block like that, and then a quick block which you dab when the enemy comes into attack. I'm just going to try and see if I can get him to follow me again. Nope. Okay. It's very difficult to do. There he goes. So let's try again. Okay, I've got them all now. Not what I wanted, but there you go. Come on. Counter attack. There you go. It's a counter attack. It's a block and a counter attack. And again. Oh, not that time. It's very difficult to time sometimes, and different creatures have a different attack speed. But essentially, you get the idea. So that's how you use a block to perform a counter attack, which is very good. I usually follow up a counter attack with another fast attack because they're made unstable. Okie dokie. So you've seen the fast attack, the slow attack, and you've seen the block and the counter attack. So the last thing to look at, and then I'll close this video. Like I said, I'm going to keep them very short and move on to do the next, is the crossbow. And you've just seen me use that actually. So the crossbow, you can get different bolts for the crossbow which have different abilities. So if I just show you some of the bolts that I have in my inventory at the moment. So you have bludgeoning damage, +8 silver damage, +12 piercing damage there. That's a good one. 120 effect duration, armor piercing. Okay. And then these over here, which are the relics, 14 silver damage, 10 silver damage. So you can pick and choose the bolts that you use. I'll be honest, I don't really use my crossbow that much. But you'll see, you hold down the crossbow, he'll load it if it's not loaded, and you can either fire once, like I did before, to get attention and put it away, or if you actually hold, let go, hold again, he'll reload, and you can just keep firing ad infinitum. The basic bolts are unlimited, just don't do a lot of damage. So that's it. I said I would keep it short and sweet in terms of the basic abilities. One thing to bear in mind, which I just touched upon there with my cursor, is adrenaline point gain. So blows landed during combat generate adrenaline points. Each adrenaline point increases weapon damage by 10%. Now you'll see this on the top left there, where you have the silver wolf skull and my health bar. The yellow bar underneath that is stamina, and that's the amount that's the resource you draw upon to use signs and to roll away to do combat rolls. The 3 bars underneath that, the 3 grey segments of a circle perimeter, those are your adrenaline points, and when you land attacks, those will build up, and obviously you get an extra 10% damage per attack. And then the adrenaline points in builds later in the game, you can actually use them to cast signs. If you get low on stamina, you can mix and match, but we'll look at builds in a later video. For now, that's the basic combat abilities, and thank you very much for listening. I hope to see you soon. Cheers.